everyone, it's Nicole from the Physio Crew. Now this video was inspired by two people who came into my clinic today who said that when they were children, their parents missed quite significant injuries. And I want to just talk to you about this because it's very, very difficult with children because they can sometimes be a little bit moany. They're just learning, how to get attention. So it's that kind of, if a child falls over, oh, you're okay, you're okay. You do need to be careful because children are, yes, they can sometimes be a little bit dramatic, but we need to be careful that we're not ignoring potential things like fractures, because sometimes they present and people don't necessarily know the signs to spot for. So if you're getting any kind of bruising or swelling, that would indicate that we need to have an assessment to see what's been going on. Sometimes kids can describe sort of multiple pains. So if we're looking for kind of any juvenile arthritis, we're looking for hot, swollen joints. If the child is waking up in the morning and often saying that they're getting kind of stiffness and pain in their ankles or their wrists, this is a good indication that they need to have an assessment, so we can have a little look at them, see whether they're likely to fit into a musculoskeletal category or whether there may be something more like a juvenile arthritis going on, and then we can refer into the GP, who will refer on to the rheumatologist. The benefit of coming to a physio first is we'll be able to spot if it's things like growing pains, in which case we can give early management for that as well. Again, growing pains, you can do something about growing pains. People always say, oh, well, they just got to grow out a bit. No, you can help your child and ease things off a little bit. So we know that the bones grow quickly, more quickly than the muscles. So often what we will get is this mismatch and misbalance of stability around the joints while the muscles adapt to the new lever. So if the bone gets longer, it's going to change the lever arm. And then we need to also make sure that those muscles, the small muscles, are conditioned well. So we often see this in junior boys. As they're growing up into puberty, they'll have a big growth spurt, and then there'll be quite a lot of risk of injury in that time as the muscles adapt. They may get quite a lot of pain. So just doing things like some basic stretching exercises, dynamic stretching exercises can be very, very helpful, and also reduce the risk of having any kind of muscle tears as the strength adapts to the new weight of the body and also the new lever. The other type of things that we need to look for is if your child has had specific trauma. So if they've fallen off their bike, if they've maybe climbed a tree and fallen down, we want to be looking at in kids, they tend to get things like green stick fractures. So they tend to, if you imagine you get a stick and you break it, normally there's still a bit that's attached. So sometimes you won't see any deformity like you would in an adult, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a fracture. The video was inspired by two people who'd had fractures and their parents had ignored it for kind of 2 weeks, and then eventually they'd gone in and got a cast. And I think what the real importance is that we listen to children. We're careful not to give them too much attention if they're falling, but if they're persistently complaining of pain and it's very specific, i.e. it's in the same place, particularly with a fracture, there's likely to be bony tenderness. So they're likely to say, oh, it's here, it's the same spot. And not to scare you, but if you're seeing any random bruises coming up with no trauma, that's an indication straight away that you go to the GP. Don't worry about coming to the physio, go straight to the GP. If there's bruising coming up or there was a big bruise that came up from something very, very innocuous, like just tapping the hand or something like that, that again is GP referral straight away. So I think to take away from this video, I would say make sure that if your child is complaining of pain, if they're being consistent, then get it looked at by an expert and we can help guide you as to what the best management is. It's worth it for £45 for the assessment so that your child isn't suffering, and also that you're educated and you can say, actually, you know what, they're fine, or actually, no, we need to do something about this. Take care, have a lovely day. If this video has been interesting for you, please like and share across social media, and we're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. Bye.